Today you'll find me at the start of a 270-mile footpath in the UK's first ever national park. But where exactly am I? Find out in just a moment. Today we're helping a couple of happy campers find a permanent pitch in the countryside. And while work is put on the back burner... Would you be tempted to come up here and check your emails at midnight?
No.
We give them a hybrid property to consider.
You've got mock Tudor, brick, and a bit of rendering. I can't really place it architecturally as to sort of what it wants to be.
Welcome to Escape to the Country and the village of Edale, which lies in Derbyshire, surrounded by the lush landscape of the Peak District. Now, back in 1951, the Peak District was established as the UK's first national park, following a huge influx of tourists when the Hope Valley train line opened at the turn of the last century. More than 10 million people flock to this area every year, where rambling opportunities include the lengthy Pennine Way footpath. Now, official statistics claim that just under a third of England's population live within an hour's drive of the park's boundaries, making this the most accessible national park in the country. The Peak District National Park spans over 555 square miles and some 6 county borders, including Derbyshire, South Yorkshire and Staffordshire. Although its landscape may not feature mountainous peaks as such, its dramatic rolling hills and rich escarpments make up a region of great natural diversity. The park is split into 2 distinct areas, with a rugged northern region of Dark Peak being home to Kinder Scout, reaching over 2,000 feet at its highest point. The south gives way to the limestone-rich area of White Peak and to the Roaches, an imposing ridgeway which dominates the landscape. Over 15,000 footpaths and bridleways cross a huge array of geological landmarks such as Baslow Edge, offering huge scope to explore this timeless terrain. Scattered throughout the area lie attractive villages and market towns, including Bakewell, the reputed home of the Bakewell tart. Forming a staple part of the town's food heritage, 3 shops still claim to hold the original recipe. Indeed, the Peak District's protected status and extensive scenic beauty provide an enticing location for those looking to trade city life for the countryside. If you fancy making your home in the Midlands, you might find that house prices are a real incentive. Currently, the average price of a detached home in Derbyshire is around £75,000 less than the national figure. Although just across the border in neighbouring Staffordshire, you might expect to pay just that little bit more, but it's still some £60,000 below the national average. So this really is a region that's rich with bargains on offer to reward the intrepid house hunter. American-born business consultant Darcy and project manager Ian first met in 2005 during a festive family event.
I was friends with Ian's sister, and we both lived in London, and they invited me to spend Christmas with the family. I did dress up and try to look nice just in case he was cute. I hadn't met him before, but he had a girlfriend and he was a bit shy, so nothing happened. And then fast forward to 2010 at his sister's wedding, we met again, and for some reason, that was when the magic happened.
The couple eventually married in 2012, and Darcy moved to St Neots in Cambridgeshire to live with Ian. But the town has all the familiar issues associated with urban living.
Well, we live on a small estate, and for example, we have no rear access to our back garden. We share fences with about 5 different neighbours. It's convenient for transport because we're 5 minutes walk from a train station, but then we have the noise of the trains. The town can be pretty congested, and there's industrial areas not far from here.
The motivation for a country move has come from their love of the outdoors and a rather inspirational purchase.
Darcy always wanted a camper van. I think It's honestly been one of the best things that we've ever bought. It's kind of changed our whole outlook.
We don't have to wait and see what the weather's going to be like before we decide if we're going to go camping. With the camper van, you pull up, raise the roof, and you're set up.
And with freedom to visit anywhere in the UK, there was one location that stuck in their minds.
So our favourite place to go in the camper van have been the Peak District. It's a place that's really spoken to us, and we've spent some really good weekends and some good times up there.
Every time we go out in the camper van in the Peaks, we always say, oh, wouldn't it be great to live here? So now we can make it reality.
The time is certainly right for them to make the move north, and anticipation is running high.
Darcy's moved into this house, and this was my house. And although it's our house now, we look forward to having our house together.
I'm definitely excited about a new location and being in the park, but I might also be equally excited about just having more space.
Especially for you, for coming from America, the houses are so much bigger and there's so much more space, and that's something that you maybe struggled with when you came over.
Slightly American.
Yeah. but it's true. So this, yeah, looking forward to having a lot more space, and then also have that outdoor
I want
lifestyle.
a big American fridge freezer.
Darcy and Ian are looking to be within a stone's throw of the Peak District, and although they generally want to work from home, they also need good commuter links for job commitments. Mindful of this, our house hunt will take in Derbyshire and Staffordshire, whilst remaining within a 30-minute drive of the national park. But before we set off on our property search, it's time to find out exactly what they're looking for. Well, Darcy and Ian, hello, good to see you both.
Hi.
Hello, thank you.
This is where hopefully, or around this region, you're going to be moving to. But why this area?
Oh, look around, it's beautiful.
And me being from Virginia, I'm kind of hankering to get back into the mountains and away from the flats of Cambridgeshire.
We're looking to buy our first home together. So yeah, this is an area that we've chosen just because we've come here and camped quite a lot. So yeah, just love this area.
Because in a way, there's four in this marriage, isn't there? There's the two of you, there's the dog, and there's the beloved camper van.
There is.
Well, let's talk about the actual property itself. In your mind, what are you after? I like that look there, Darcy. I like that look. It's simple.
Just look at me. Yeah.
Come on, Ian, tell
it's your
me.
turn.
Come on.
I think we're after a probably 4-bed, preferably detached, but it's not really high up on the list. We both like something that's nice looking from the outside. We both have the opportunity to work from home, so some workspace as well as some extra bedrooms for visitors.
We'd like to have a lot of light and to feel like we've gone up in the world a bit in terms of the space that we have available to us, where the rooms just flow really well into each other rather than having the narrow hallway
Yes.
type of feel.
And then both Darcy and I do like to cook, so a nice big kitchen diner as well. It's high up on the list.
So are we talking rural or perhaps on the edge of a village?
Edge of a village, I think. Somewhere where we could walk to the pub would be great. So if it's about a mile away maximum.
So we've discussed the ideal property, but are there any no-nos?
Well, and this might be me being American, but listed buildings make me nervous because the restrictions on them.
Now, you'll be renting out your property, so there's no chain, so I'm presuming you can move pretty quickly if we find you that perfect house.
If you find something, we're ready to go.
Excellent. And remind us of the budget that we're working with.
Up to a maximum of 400.
Well, £400,000 to spend, perhaps within the national park, the Peak District, perhaps outside of it, who knows? I'm not going to give too much away, but we do have some splendid properties to show you. So should we get started?
Yeah.
Come on then. With the top budget of £400,000, Darcy and Ian have drawn up a realistic wish list. They're looking for a property with character features, which provides them with a large kitchen diner. 4 bedrooms would be ideal, along with an office. Location is also a key consideration for them, so finding a home close to a thriving village community is important, as is being within striking distance of the great outdoors. Our couple can't wait to start their new life in the country, so, with no time to waste, we have a varied mix of rural properties to show them. Only after they've explored each one fully will they discover its price tag. Finally, it's off to the mystery house, which may be a little on the quirky side, but certainly offers plenty of character and curb appeal. For our first property, we're heading to the Derbyshire village of Hognaston that lies just under 10 minutes from the Peak District Park border. This rural village grew up on the side of a valley, and its attractive architecture includes many 17th and 18th century farm buildings and cottages. Hognaston's skyline is dominated by its Grade II listed church that's located in the heart of the village and dates back to the 12th century. And that's exactly where we're heading for our first property. So our very first property, right in the heart of the village.
Wow, I like it.
Yeah?
It's got a really interesting face on it.
It looks good. It looks very pretty. Looks a little small, so we'll see what it's like inside. It could be deceiving from the outside.
It's set into the hill a little bit, so interesting seeing how it's laid out on the inside. But I like the looks of it from the outside, and 2 doors down from the pub, you can't beat it.
Should we start the tour?
Sure,
Yeah.
Built from local stone, this house dates back to the late 1800s and started life as a pigsty. Extended in 1922, it's now a warm and inviting home, which Darcy and Ian seem to have spotted from the outset. Time to explore inside. So, first room, I thought we'd start off with the sitting room.
I like it.
Seems bigger than I was expecting. It's nice and bright with 3 windows.
Yeah, that triple aspect goes in your favour, doesn't it?
It's a good proportioned room. You know, you can do a lot with it. I like the wood floor. Yeah,
And a
you could-
wood-burning stove. It's good.
That's a good start.
Keen to
Let's
see
go
some
next door. Yeah, kitchen's on its way. Their first reactions to the interior seem positive, so fingers crossed we can build on that as we continue. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I think this is a good-sized kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, room for the dining table is good.
Yeah.
We're not formal dining room people, really, so eat-in kitchen is perfect for our lifestyle.
So we wouldn't change anything in here?
No, because I like the wooden surface and I like the Belfast sink.
Yeah.
I could move in and live here for some time before feeling that I needed to change things.
I agree.
Right. We'll continue. So far, so good. And with the ground floor also providing a study, the downstairs seems to have impressed Darcy and Ian. Hopefully there are equally positive reactions to upstairs, which is made up of a family bathroom and 3 light, airy, good-sized double bedrooms. I'm showing them the largest. This is the master. It doesn't have an ensuite, but it is dual aspect. If you look, look at that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It looks like a cottage from the outside of the road, doesn't it? But when you walk in, it's a proper home.
Yeah.
It's quite large.
It is. It's deceptively large, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one more thing to show you with this property. It's thumbs up for the house, but in addition, at the end of the garden, an outbuilding has been cleverly converted into yet another living area, delivering more space. So the final part of this house tour is this annex.
Wow.
So we're thinking, you know, you both work from home. It is away from the main house, so it could be your sort of separate area.
It's really cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this.
And for working at home, it gives you that feeling of leaving and going to the office.
Yeah.
You can lock it away at night and not have it in the lounge or...
But would you be tempted to come up here and check your emails at midnight?
No.
Not too much to do, haven't you? Well, let's go back out into the garden because we need to try and guess the price.
Okay.
The annex clearly is a bonus for our couple, so I'm just hoping the size of the garden won't be a disappointment. Now, this is where I can't lie. I'd love to be able to offer you a couple of acres of garden, but this is it. Appreciate you've got a dog, so you might just slightly change it, but I also know that you've got a camper van.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not in the garden every weekend because we tend to be away.
We're away every
weekend.
weekend. For me, a low-maintenance garden is a bonus, but we might put some grass down for the dog.
Yeah. So, I'm going to ask you, it's on the market. What do you think the asking price actually is?
I'm going to say 375, 380.
OK. Ian?
So I'm going to say 340.
Well, the asking price for our first house is £310,000.
You're...
No. You nearly said it, didn't you? But yeah.
You're kidding. 310.
Interesting,
Yeah. Happy to pay less.
So now you know that, why don't you take another look around together?
Okay.
Time to explore, and I'll catch you in the front when you're ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
£90,000 under budget, our first house has made quite an impression, and it's easy to see why. It provides generous reception rooms and that all-important kitchen diner. Along with 3 bedrooms, there's an annex which gives them both fantastic office space. Outside may not be exactly what they're after, but it does sit in a great village location.
The village seems really nice, and approaching the house I did think it looked a little small from the outside, but when we came in it's a bit like a TARDIS. The rooms are much bigger than I was expecting them to be.
It's not just the linear dimensions of a room that matter, but it's how it's laid out. And this is probably about the same size as home, except this is a much better layout. So even though it's not a huge jump up in terms of square meters, it's very usable and flexible, and we could really fit well.
The garden would be my one concern. It's quite small, it's quite limited.
Ian can be hard to please or just reluctant to take the leap. He will want to wait and try to find the perfect house at the best price, and I'm willing to get the almost perfect house at a pretty good price.
How are we doing? Seen enough?
Yes.
Yes.
That was a good beginning, wasn't it, to our house hunt?
Very good.
Excellent. Right, more to show you. Roughly the size of Greater London, the Peak District receives more than 10 million visitors a year, attracted here by its sweeping, rugged vistas. But below the surface lies a world that's equally fascinating, an extensive network of caves and caverns which have been created over time by nature and man's mining explorations. Heading to the heart of the national park and to the village of Castleton, outward-bound enthusiasts Ian and Darcy are hoping to learn more about the subterranean landscapes the Peak District has to offer. So they're meeting cavern expert John Harrison at Speedwell Cavern.
Welcome to the Peak District and welcome to Castleton.
Thank you very much.
You picked
Hello.
a beautiful day for coming out of here. The whole area, we're in a limestone area, and limestone is a permeable rock, and the rainwater, which is slightly acidic, falls on the hills on the tops, permeates down through the limestone, and over thousands and thousands of years, creating passageways and caverns under the hills.
How many of them are there?
Hundreds. I don't know an exact number, but I'm going to take you into one, the Speedwell Cavern, which is in fact an old lead mine that was driven from pretty much where we're standing, under the hill over there, to intercept an 18-kilometre cave system that the miners had found back in 1750, 1760. And they drove a tunnel to bring lead back out of deep under the hill there by boat.
So are we exploring the cavern today by foot?
A little bit, but mainly just going down the steps on foot, and then we're going to board a boat. We'll head on down.
Great, thank you.
OK.
Though mining in the Peak District can be traced back to the Romans, mining operations at Speedwell Cavern didn't start till the late 1700s, and due to poor yields lasted only 27 years.
OK, guys, come on in.
And it was then quickly converted into a show cave.
First things first, hard hats, I'm afraid, are essential. Before we get down to the boats, there's a small issue. 106 steps to go down. OK, off we go.
As the steps descend to a depth of 25 metres, the temperature drops to a constant 11 degrees Celsius.
Use the handrail. It's a little bit wet and slippy today.
Down in the depths, cave guide Phil Robbins is going to take Darcy and Ian into the unique underground canal system, which was cut by the lead miners and leads to Speedwell Cavern.
So the miners were working in the first 6 months through this section here. And it's very rough and very uneven. They were obviously new to the job.
So as they blasted the tunnel, it was already full of water, or did it fill in?
No, they were on foot at this stage.
Okay.
But they made it to this scale because they knew they were planning ahead. So at this section, it wasn't until about halfway down that they met the first underground stream, which then started to cause them flooding problems.
The tunnel took around 11 years to create and was used to ferry workers and rubble to and from the lead veins in the rock face. In the absence of electric power, miners moved the canal boat through the tunnel using a trick known as legging.
I might just take your helmet off while you do this. You feeling comfortable?
Yep.
Feet onto the ceiling and just start to slowly walk, 1 foot at a time. There you go, that's it. Big strides then once we get going.
Is this where the British expression legging it comes from?
That's it. Hard work, isn't it? You just trod straight on a fossil then as well.
Yeah.
You see that? Yeah.
Big fossil of a shell.
Yeah, that's good efficient legging that, good foot pushing.
Under Darcy's steam, the boat quickly covers the half-mile that leads to the Speedwell Cavern itself, a natural chamber that's so large you can't even see the top. It was actually discovered by accident and contains another unique underground water system.
So yeah, down over those railings, you've got a drop of about 30 metres, 90 feet or so, to a natural underground lake called the Bottomless Pit.
Why the bottomless pit?
When the miners were here, they used that as a dumping ground for all the waste rock from the Far Canal there. They'd put in about 2,000 tonnes of rubble, and the water level never rose, and they couldn't figure out why. And they, being very superstitious people in those days, they came up with the theory that the lake was bottomless, so the bottomless pit.
Oh, okay.
Of course, nowadays, we know that can't be right, because otherwise all the water would come out in Australia.
Well, thank you very much for a lovely day.
Great, it's been a pleasure having you both.
After all that time underground, we need to leg it to the surface to continue our property search. For our second property, we're travelling to the western side of the Peak District and crossing the county border into Staffordshire, where we find the village of Cheddleton. Located just 15 minutes from the National Park, Cheddleton is a historic village situated in the Staffordshire moorlands. Having developed into a larger community over time, the original part includes a small collection of shops, a tea room housed in what was until recently the village school, a busy post office and 3 pubs to choose from, along with its listed medieval church. Just to the north of Cheddleton, down a country lane, lies our next house. So we've certainly driven around some beautiful country winding roads because we've lined up this property for you to view.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
It's very imposing.
Yeah,
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
much larger looking than the last one.
So, different type of property we're showing you this time.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
the look of this one from the outside.
It's an interesting kind of mishmash, really. I don't think I've really seen a lot of houses like it. You've got mock Tudor, brick, and a bit of rendering. I can't really place it architecturally as to sort of what it wants to be.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see what you make of it inside.
Okay.
Originally built in the 30s, this detached property was then extended in 1999, providing that all-important living space our couple are after. It seems the outward appearance, attractive setting and generous size have struck a chord with Darcy and Ian. So come on through, but let's start off with the first sitting room.
Wow. Bathed in sunshine with a lovely view.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, views for miles.
Very nice.
You walk in, don't you, and you feel like it's a home. That first impression, that first feel as you walk through the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it has it in spades.
Yeah.
Lovely. We've got plenty more to show you.
Okay.
So through here you have another sitting room, stroke snug, stroke office.
Yes.
But look what's in here. Well, I think you're gonna love this.
Oh, wow. This
This is a country kitchen. It's massive. It's lovely.
Wow.
Can you see yourself sitting here having breakfast in the morning?
Yes,
Yes.
I can. Yeah.
It does have a very comfortable, cosy feel to it. It's homely. Mm.
Good.
But we'd have a few things to think about.
Yeah. Let's see what you think of upstairs.
Okay.
They both seem over the moon with what this property delivers on the ground floor, and I'm confident this momentum will continue upstairs. Here, a stylish family bathroom serves all 4 of the double bedrooms, 3 of which are of a generous size, while the smallest is being used as a study. There's one obvious room to show them next. Here's the master bedroom.
It's pink. You'd never let me paint our bedroom this colour.
Yeah, this wouldn't be my choice of colour, but
No, not you, Ian.
in terms of the size of the room, I can see past the colour. It's a nice size room. I like this picture real.
It's right up my alley. It's supposed to look past the decor and think of putting your own stamp on it, but there's a lot of the stamp that's here already that I quite like.
That's good. Well, let's head back downstairs. Ian, if you wouldn't mind leading the way. Thank you. For Darcy and Ian, this house has got it all, delivering everything they wished for. And with outside providing ample space for their dog and a garage for the camper van, there's also plenty here for them to smile about. So with this property, we have about 1/4 of an acre of land in total. But you didn't want a large garden. How's this for a practical, low-maintenance garden?
Yeah, low maintenance, just lawn, like, easy.
And because it's fenced, it's good with the dog.
Yeah. We are now, though, going to have to be serious and try and put a price on this property. So what are we thinking?
Let's just go under 399.
950. Don't let me influence you.
For sake of argument.
OK. All right, then just under your £400,000 budget.
We're going to have a role reversal here, I think, because I'm going to guess slightly lower. I'm going to say 340.
OK.
Just to be different.
I think that's hopeful.
Do you?
I do.
OK, well, interesting on that one, because the asking price is offers in the region of £400,000.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
on your budget.
On the budget.
So with that price in your mind, why don't you have another look around and we'll see if you're willing to pay it.
Already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bang on budget, this extensive detached property has delivered on all fronts, providing Darcy and Ian with 2 reception rooms, a large country kitchen and 4 double bedrooms. Along with a generous interior decorated to their taste, the space outside had their spirits soaring. What's more, its elevated position offers them stunning countryside views.
This is a much bigger house, and it's much more in the style that I think we picture ourselves in. I'm conflicted about the location because even though there's the big views out the windows, which are marvelous, the house is only part of the whole equation.
Well, this one, I'm sitting here, I feel quite at home, to be honest. Great first impression as you walk through the gate. The kitchen's fantastic with the range cooker. Yeah, rating this one pretty high.
How are we doing? Seen enough?
Yeah, really
Yes.
good, thank you.
Excellent. I just want you to take one last lingering look at that view before I drag you away.
I'm taking a mental snapshot of
It's
it.
impressive, isn't it? Right, time to hit the road.
Okay.
Today's energetic house hunters, Darcy and Ian from the Cambridgeshire town of St Neots, are property searching in the Peak District. With £400,000 to spend on the right country pad, they're planning to devote more time to the great outdoors. But how much explaining will our mystery house need?
What am I looking at?
And later, I'll be turning my hand to a forgotten craft. Beginning to take shape.
Those shavings coming off, though.
Yeah. Well, a good beginning to our house hunt here with Ian and Darcy yesterday. We started off showing them a village that she instantly fell in love with. But of course, we need to get the combination right, the perfect property in the ideal location, something they both adore. Our final offering, the Mystery House, a historic and slightly regal affair that I'm hoping will inspire and challenge them in equal measure. For our mystery house, we're heading 30 miles south of the Peak District borders to the Staffordshire village of Tixall, 5 minutes from Great Haywood. Situated by the River Trent, Great Haywood is home to the picturesque Haywood Junction, a stretch of water where 2 of the country's finest canals meet. The local Catholic church was actually built in Tixall and in 1845 was dismantled and moved stone by stone to Great Haywood. In the village, locals are catered for with a number of amenities, including a post office and a farm shop. Back in Tixall, Darcy and Ian are under strict instructions to keep their eyes shut. And now, all will be revealed. Look up.
Wow, it's a big crescent.
What am I looking at?
It's the first time you've been speechless, Darcy, the whole time. Welcome to the Mews.
Mews like horses and carriages.
Absolutely, you're on the money.
My mind's a bit blown at the minute. It's,
We get the middle bit.
yeah.
Do you want the good news? Yes, you do.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is your chance to buy into a real piece of British history.
I guess so.
And this was converted around 1976 into residential properties, but it is listed Good news for you guys is this is grade 2 listed, so you do have a little bit more flexibility.
Great.
So how do you feel about possibly owning a little bit of English heritage?
I'm a little bit scared, but I'm looking forward to seeing the inside.
OK, well, I think we'll take this as an adventure.
Yes.
Yeah? All right.
Certainly is.
Let's go and have a look.
Our mystery property is an early 19th century mews house built for the Aston family of Tixall Hall, which stood opposite. In 1927, the hall was demolished and only a Grade 1 listed gatehouse remains, which was used to imprison Mary Queen of Scots in 1586. The property we're looking at takes up the complete central section of the mews, and although it's currently unfurnished, I can't wait to see what Darcy and Ian think of it inside.
And let's start off in the drawing room.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
So, put modern houses out of your mind. Let's go back at least 200, 300 years, and this could be part of your new life.
Okay.
Silence.
Now, it does need a little bit of work, I think, it'd be fair to say, but care and attention. I think you can see that as you walk around.
Yeah.
But Lord and Lady of the Manor?
Okay. Never quite pictured myself that way, but if I'm going to become British, I might as well
Yeah, be
adapt.
a lady of the manor.
Let's continue.
Darcy loves its noble country pedigree, so with encouraging first reactions, let's hope the kitchen serves up the same positivity.
Wow.
A lovely kitchen. It's a massive dining area.
Yeah. Oh, I'm liking that. Doors to the back.
Yeah.
Is it beginning to work its magic on you, Ian?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was working its magic as we walked towards it, but yeah, I'm impressed with the inside.
In a funny way, that's music to my ears, because that's what we want to achieve with our mystery.
Yes.
And I've still got so much to show you.
They're willing to be open-minded about our mystery house, and it actually seems to be winning them over. More space is on offer with an extra sitting room and games room down in the cellar on the lower ground floor. We'll leave the sleeping arrangements until later and go outside to explore the garden.
So, a splendid garden, but again, quite low maintenance.
Lovely.
Perfect size as
Is
well.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely low maintenance.
Yeah.
And kind of very grand to match the house.
Yes, it is. Does it have a regal feel to you, this property?
Yes, I think you
Yeah.
could say that.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're desperate to get up there, aren't
yes.
you?
Yeah, we are.
Take a look at the view.
Spread over 4 levels in total, the first floor is made up of a single bedroom with attic storage space and a family bathroom. Further up on the second floor is the remaining sleeping accommodation, consisting of 2 further double bedrooms and, of course, the final room on our property tour.
It is a feast on the eyes.
That's not what
I wouldn't use
we
the word
expected.
feast. It's a shop.
It's unusual.
You could do some work on this and really turn it into something special.
Yeah.
I think I'd take the bath out for that, although it could be a fun feature when friends come to visit.
Do you know what? If you go to some very upmarket hotels, they have the baths in the middle of the room with the bedroom next to it.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
of scrap value, Nikki.
So upstairs, still stretching you guys, isn't it?
Still causing all sorts of shocks and surprises, but in a good way.
Yes, yes.
Got one more thing to show you, so let's step through the doors, look at the view, and we can discuss money.
Okay.
Although the master bedroom hasn't really captured their imaginations, I'm hoping the last offering of our mystery proposition will inspire them.
So, you know, we all agreed the back garden was beautiful. However, if I bring you out here and then you just look over your shoulders, just take a look at that.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
I suppose it's time to try and put a price on a little bit of history. What are we thinking?
I'm going straight for top budget.
Are you?
400.
Okay.
Honestly, no idea, so I'll join you on 400, because, yeah, who knows?
Well, the asking price is a little bit over that. It's £420,000. We've spoken to the owner, and they would look at offers in the region of your top budget
Okay.
if you wanted to take it a little bit further. I'm going to send you off, so have another look around. Lord and Lady of the Manor.
Our historic mystery property tips £20,000 over their budget, but there is scope to negotiate. With 3 large reception rooms and 4 bedrooms, there is plenty of space for them to create their ideal home here. What's more, the good-sized garden and garage mean that the dog and the camper van are also catered for. Crucially though, this mystery property gives them the unique opportunity to buy into the region's heritage and reimagine their vision of country living.
My feelings about the house are a bit torn. It's quite grand, it's got great views and there's the history about it, but it did feel cold. I know that that's partly because it's uninhabited, but there's a novelty factor to it, and I think for me the novelty is already starting to wear off.
This one has taken me way out of the comfort zone. I really don't know how to put it into words. It's bigger, grander, don't really know how to use the space, but it's really nice.
I feel like you're footman waiting to whisk you away. You've got the horses, got the carriage.
I can picture it.
It's a remarkable property, isn't it?
It's a grand property.
And I guess we've given you a lot to think about over the last few days, a real variety of homes to consider.
Definitely.
So I want you two to have a bit of time on your own to have a chat, and then let's find out what your next move's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up until the early 1700s, most of Britain's tableware was made of wood, and a village wood turner plying their craft was a common sight. I'm heading to the heart of the Peak District to see if I can turn my hand to a manufacturing process which had all but disappeared until one man came to rescue this traditional craft. He's known as the last bowl turner in Britain and is appropriately named Robin Wood, MBE.
Robin, good to meet
Nikki,
you.
hi.
This is a wonderful, peaceful setting. This is where your workshop is.
So this is where I spend my day.
So tell me a little bit more about your profession. What exactly is a bowl turner?
Well, I make wooden bowls, and I'm a particular type of bowl turner. I make wooden bowls on a foot-powered lathe, which is a very old craft going back to the Middle Ages.
So a real traditional method.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you literally went and did some research and started doing it yourself. So you didn't
Yeah,
have any
exactly.
experience?
No experience. There was no one to teach me. There was no one doing it. There was about a 35-year gap with no one turning bowls on a foot-powered lathe anywhere in the world, in fact.
I'm desperate to have a
Are you
go.
gonna have a go?
How difficult is it, though?
You're not going to learn that in a day, but you can get a feel for what it feels like.
Yeah.
With Robin reviving a forgotten tradition, he was effectively starting from scratch. He had to hand make all the tools, whilst also learning the process of turning the bowls. 20 years on, the results are now outstanding.
These are the sorts of bowls that I make.
The bowl.
They're bowls.
Look at that. Loving the markings inside. Look at those different colours.
Yeah.
Beautiful, isn't it? And can you use any wood, or do you have a particular variety that you like?
Well, I love turning beech. This is actually a 179-year-old beech. Trees, when they get older like that, get a lot more character.
It is gorgeous.
The bowls start as raw blocks of wood to which Robin fixes a handmade spindle. This is then attached to the lathe, ready to be turned.
So when you first started out, was it real trial and error?
There was a lot of trial and error, yeah. Obviously, I didn't have anyone to teach me. There was no one doing it.
As well as bowls, Robin has made many replica woodware museum pieces. In fact, his own pole lathe was designed and manufactured using one from a museum as his guide. Operated solely by manpower, it uses foot pressure to create the motion that enables the bowl to revolve.
That's now spinning nice and true on there. So we get one of these tools, and as it's spinning, I just start to take a cut.
Using a special hook tool, Robin can carve a bowl in around 20 minutes, but seasoning the material beforehand to dry out the wood can take up to a year. Each bowl that he creates is entirely individual.
What do you think? Do you fancy a go?
I'd love to have a go, but
Yeah.
you make it look so easy.
Yeah, it's kind of like riding a bike. When you can do it, it's easy, but when you first try, it's very difficult. Just get the feel of the pedal. Have a pedal on there.
Is that about right?
Yeah, that's great.
I'm making contact with the wood, but I'm not getting much out, am I?
There's little shavings coming off.
Dare I say I seem to be getting the hang of it?
I am really
Nice.
enjoying this. It's beginning to take shape.
Those shavings coming off, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a long time to begin with. You just take little shavings and then gradually, over time, it gets faster and faster, and you get a cleaner and cleaner cut as well. OK.
Let you carry on.
In his career, Robin has handmade 20,000 bowls for a range of clients, including the Tower of London, Hampton Court, and props for Hollywood blockbusters.
OK, that's about ready to snap off now. So it's just attached by a little piece in the bottom. If I lever that, you hear that crack?
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Absolutely, and there you go. One nearly finished bowl.
Finally, the bowls are left for up to 3 months to allow any moisture to evaporate. After being given the finishing touches with a knife once dried, they're then shipped out to clients nationwide. But being the only turner in the UK making a living from his trade, the craft is at considerable risk of disappearing.
So what's going to happen in the future? You know, for a long time, you were the only wooden bowl turner, not only in this country, but around the world. What's going to happen to that legacy?
Well, I've taught a lot of people. I've been doing this 20 years, so the tradition's going on. Yeah.
Robin, it's been an absolute pleasure today. Thank you very much indeed.
Great. Thank you.
So how did we fare showing Darcy and Ian our properties in Derbyshire and Staffordshire? In all honesty, I'm not quite sure, but there is one way to find out. Let's go and ask them. Well, Ian and Darcy have come to join you. If I can squeeze in.
Absolutely.
It's been a good few days, hasn't it?
Yeah, great few days.
Have we got close with any of our properties?
Absolutely, yes. The first house was
Yes.
a great area. The house has lots of potential. It was smaller. It's probably a similar size to what we live in now, plus then the annex. And at the price that it was on at, it gives us lots of room for manoeuvre.
It does. So that was our first property, but I'm getting the impression there's more.
The house on the hill. When I think back, I'm always picturing myself sitting in the house on the hill looking at that view.
Well, that's not bad, is it? You know, those houses, they've all got something going for them. So what happens next?
We will go back, I think, to have a look around the area of the house on the hill, maybe go for some walks around there. I think with house one, we'll go back and arrange a second viewing, sort of get some better ideas of the sizes of the rooms and how it could really work for us.
We need to really have a good chat and take a hard look at the realities of the way that we live our lives and then choose a house that will suit that.
Brilliant. Well, I hope we've played a small part in the move, an important part, and, well, I hope one of ours comes through in the end.
We will let you know.
Yeah, please do. Thank you both so very much. Well, we may not have secured a definite house sale with Darcy and Ian, but I'm delighted they're going back for a second viewing. And by the sounds of it, there are still a few questions that need answers. But whether it's Derbyshire or Staffordshire, wherever they end up, we wish them all the very best. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Darcy and Ian did return for second viewings at 2 of our properties, and I'm happy to say decided to put in an offer on our first house in Derbyshire, which was accepted. So, with no onward chain, they should be moving in very soon. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and would like our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.